An article in mindbodygreen.com stated that 55% of adults ages 18 to 29 think couples are just as well off if they stay together without ever getting married, compared to 45% who think long-term couples ought to get married eventually. So, guys, I have to ask, what are your thoughts about people who go for years in relationships without ever getting married? Obviously, a Goldie Hawn has done this. She's a great example of that.
Yeah. I think it's their prerogative. Why? I hate the part that you read. Obviously, this is just in discussion, but that you ought to get married because of a number of years. Being married or choosing to get married or making that decision is not we just might as well should. It's been this long. It's a real decision. And honestly, I can understand why people who don't want to get married don't want to do it. It's a huge commitment, a huge responsibility, and it's for life. And then you're involving legalities into it too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons why it's okay to just be life partners. I hate when you think you should just get married, or when friends put pressure on you because you guys have been together for years now. What's going on?
Right.
Stop.
You remember that Jagged Edge song, Let's Get Married? Mm-hmm. That song used to come on, and I always used to be like, why would anyone make this their wedding song? I'm sorry, I love Jagged Edge, and I love the music, but lyrically, it literally says, we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do it.
That's right.
And I used to hear that song, I said, if somebody told me this is how I'm gonna get married, like, that's just not what I want. I really genuinely feel that these people should want to have that kind of partnership, should want to share life together. I personally think that for myself, I specifically wanted to get married because I really wanted a family.
Yeah.
And there's other people that, like yourself, Lonnie, not to put this on you, you don't want.
She turned that right over, Lonnie.
You're not trying. You don't want to have babies. Like, you're not trying to raise children. Exactly.
Well, what's your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
You know what? I have two schools of thought. Number one, we put so much pressure on women.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we use marriage as this carrot of women in this country, that you are not a whole woman unless you're married.
I like that. So true.
And this is not a diss to anybody that's married, because
No.
if you want to be married, be married.
Right.
But we need to normalize that everybody doesn't want to be married.
Fact.
You know, and like what you said, Jeannie, is so true, and people don't understand it. Some people get married for religious reasons. Some people get married financially. It's a contract.
Yeah.
Marriage
It
is
is.
still a contract.
Right.
And a whole tax deduction, too.
Right.
And I also think if you're gonna have a family, I feel like, I'm just old school, if you're gonna have children, get married.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I
Yeah.
think
That's what I'm saying when I
secures
said
the
family
family.
planning.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that was important, that if I was gonna raise children, that I would have a commitment beyond just being in love.
Right.
But that we're committed to having a family and raising children and that whole sort of thing.
But with me
everybody
and
doesn't
James,
feel that
I don't
way.
want to be married.
You don't want to be married.
I don't want to be married.
Does he want to be married? If you said
He don't
yes
want to be
today,
married either.
He's
When
been
I
married
was
and you've been
dating,
married. Y'all are like...
that was one of the things. Whoever I wanted to be with, the first thing I told him, I said, I don't want to be married.
Gotcha.
Because I can take care of myself.
Right.
I'm okay.
Right.
But I like having a partner.
Yeah.
That's what people, and we got to normalize that. People want to have partners. They should be able to have lifelong partners.
Yeah.
But we don't put pressure. But every time I do an interview, we are getting married.
Right.
I'm like,
Oh
for what?
my
My
God.
ass isn't
But that's...
but if they also do that,
Do you feel disrespected by that? That's disrespectful to some extent, no?
But in our society,
disrespectful.
that's what we do to women. We sit here and we
Absolutely.
always put it on women, that the women, you look
George
at the
Clooney.
And then can I
majority
talk
of
about
men.
single women too? Can I talk about single women?
Yes.
You know what? I feel like also you're not whole unless you have a man. You can't take care of yourself unless there's a man there. Like, I hate that. But George Clooney, you were about to say, no one ever questioned why he wouldn't get
I'm
married.
going to ask you guys.
Never.
I'm
Do
going
you
to
know
ask you
what I
guys this
mean?
because you're all businesswomen and you're around the age of 40. I actually heard from several people in business, men and women, that if you are not married around the age of 40, you aren't taken as seriously because there seems like something's wrong with you.
That's what I'm saying.
There seems like you either
In the corporate world,
nobody
that's
wants
very true.
if you're either unwanted or you can't settle or you're a playgirl or you are
Soulmate.
serious.
Old maid.
Something's wrong with you.
That is crazy.
And so women, here's the crazy thing now, statistically speaking, women who are married and are in business do better than women who are single, which kind of just leads you to think, why is that though? Because women who are single have so much time to be able to build their business, whatever. But they are regarded differently when you are married.
That is interesting.
Yep.
But also that's twofold, because if you are also a married woman in business with kids, and they feel like you're not going to do the job
Right.
100%
So
because
true.
you have so many other
Once you have kids,
responsibilities.
then it
You need to
changes
get
back.
home and right. So
Totally.
we get hit anyway. You look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah,
it's
I
crazy.
just want women to understand that it's a new day. That especially when it comes to I got to get married because of a doctrine.
Right.
Because then you start making mistakes based on that
Yes.
pressure.
The
Yes.
pressure.
And then that affects your whole life.
And that just ends in divorce, if we're gonna be honest.
Yes.
Most of those people that get married, if I'm being honest, in Christianity, there's a lot of young people that get married because they are tempted to have sex and they don't want to sin. So
Right.
they marry this person based on some feelings that are not the reasons to get married for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they end up divorced at a really young age.
Yeah, people really need to make sure when they get married for the right reasons.
Yeah,
Because
so
I
important.
think marriage is a wonderful thing
Yeah.
for certain people.
I
And
agree.
me being single,
Ew, oh my
Just
God.
works for you.
The way
That's what it is.
she's
Stop
through the
making that
camera.
face.
Okay.
okay. I got something else.
Why did you linger that camera on her for so long?
Don't do that.
I lied.
Don't do that.
Away, oh my God.